Now we will find out the mass of HNO3, molecular mass of HNO3. Since there is no, like you can see that there is no metal in it, therefore I am writing it down over here, and this is known as nitric acid. You see that we have only one hydrogen in it, so 1 times mass of one hydrogen is 1, plus we have one nitrogen only, we will multiply it with the atomic mass of nitrogen, and it is 14, plus there are 3 oxygens in it, multiply by 16, so 1 plus 14 plus 48, so the answer will be 63. So you look at here that the molecular mass of HNO3 is 63. We can do some more examples over here as well. For example, we can find out formula mass of potassium K2SO4, potassium sulfate. So because potassium has a metal, I told you that formula unit will contain a metal in it. So you see that we have one potassium, and the mass of one potassium is 39. So you will write down here 2 times 39, because there are two potassium atoms, plus we have one sulfur atom, 1 times 32, plus there are 4 oxygen atoms, so we will write down 4 times 16. Now we have to like sum these values. Let me see. 39 times 2 will be equal to, I think it is 78, plus 32 plus 64, and this whole thing will be equal to 174. As I
Sir,
told
sir, could
you,
I ask you something?
we can write down its unit as well. That is AMU. Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. We can write down its unit as AMU. Just like we measure the mass in kilograms. Now we measure the mass of apples in kilogram. We measure the mass of bananas maybe in kilograms, books in kilograms, and then collectively when we will add all these masses again, we will say that the total mass is, let's say, 100 kilogram. So we write down the unit now. So here we can also write down the unit that this is AMU. Yes, what do you want to ask me?
Sir, do we
Mm-hmm.
when do we know if we have to use the mass number or the atomic number? And do we use the
Whenever,
mass number in the
whenever,
formula mass and then atomic in the molecular mass?
whenever we have to measure mass, whenever we have to measure mass, either formula mass or molecular mass, we will use atomic mass. And if we will have to write down the electronic configuration that we have not studied so far, then we will use atomic number. I think you
All
understand
right,
me.
Sir,
sir. Yes.
Yes.
So in this case, we're using mass number.
sir, I
Go ahead.
can still understand this 39, 32, and 50, 16. I don't know what are these. Can you just repeat this again?
Uh, there is there's nothing that we can make you understand that what is this. Actually, these are some numbers that you have to memorize. In your class, periodic table will not be given along the paper. So, of the first 20 elements, for first 20 elements of periodic table, you need to memorize the atomic mass, its valency, and the symbol with which element is represented.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Like there is no other way I can tell you because there are some other systems of study in which periodic table is given with the paper. Here in this system, in the metric, it is periodic table is not given. So you have to memorize the atomic masses of first 20 elements because they will give you all formulas from first 20 elements. Did you understand now
Okay, sir.
what I say? Okay. Then
Okay,
again,
sir.
okay, then again, what we can do here is that we can find out the atomic mass of, let me see something, Na2CO3, Na2CO3. Again, you see that because we have two sodium, so mass of one sodium is 23. If you will go into the periodic table, you will see it is written like this: 11 here and 23. This is the atomic mass. So you have to take 23 in order to find out the atomic mass. So you can write down here 2 times 23 plus 1 times 12 plus 3 times 16. 3 times 16 is because we have 3 oxygen atoms and one oxygen has a mass of 16. Similarly, we have one carbon only and mass of one carbon is 12. So here we can write down we have 46 plus 12 plus 48. So the answer will be 106 AMU. 106 AMU. Now you see that if there was any metal present in our formulas, we have calculated or we have written under the formula mass, and if we had no metal, and then we had calculated its molecular masses. The method to find out is same. It's just like name is different. For example, we can also find out mass of sugar, or we can say glucose. Do you know what? That glucose has a mass of, glucose has a formula C6H12O6. In this we have 6 carbon atoms. So I will write down 6 multiplied by 12. Here I have 12 hydrogen atoms. So I will write down 1 times 12 plus we have 6 oxygen atoms. So 6 times 16. It will be 72 plus 12 plus 16 times 6 is equal to what? 96. And when you will add all of these values, you will get 180 AMU. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yes, sir.
okay, okay. Okay, next I'm going to write down few things. Just a second here. I'm going to write down few formulas over here, and you will be required to tell me whether these are uh, formula mass, or sorry, these are the molecular formulas or formula units.
All right, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to write down here the first thing.
So we have to tell whether it's molecular formula or molecular mass or formula mass, right?
Anything like that. Yeah. Okay, the letters that I have written with the red color, they
Are
are metal.
metals?
Yes, exactly, they are metal. So tell me, what is H2O?
Formula mass.
It's exactly, it is sort of, you will say it is a formula mass. And
So
then,
you pointed it towards molecular mass.
okay, just wait a second. Okay, CH4 is also molecular mass. Like this was a molecular mass. Yeah. And then C6H12O6, what is it?
Molecular mass.
Exactly, this is also molecular mass. And then copper carbonate, CuCO3. What is this?
Formula mass.
Like,
Formula mass.
okay, then potassium bromide.
Formula mass.
Exactly, this is also formula mass. Then H2SO4.
Molecular
Molecular
mass.
Okay, good. And then lithium chloride, the next one.
formula mass.
Formula mass.
Exactly. Then what about potassium carbonate?
Formula mass.
Exactly, this is also formula mass. Then CO2.
Molecular
Form
mass.
Exactly, this is the molecular mass. Yeah, then in the last we have sodium sulfate. What is it?
Formula mass.
Exactly, this is formula mass.
Formula mass.
Okay, this is formula mass. I hope you understood that what is the difference between molecular masses and formula masses, right?
Yes, sir.
The question was that identify the following as a formula or unit form unit write down which of the following have the molecular masses and which one of the following have formula masses. So that is why I have written a thing, then made the column, and you identified it. Okay. After this, the new thing that we will study today is about cations and anions.
About what and what, sir?
Ions. Do you know how ions are formed?
So the
Okay,
ions are like
that
an atom or group of atoms having a positive or a negative charge.
exactly, like there are some atoms which can uh, accept electrons, and there are some atoms which donate electrons. So the transmission of a complete transfer of electron from an atom or to an atom, we say that this happens when an ionic compound is formed, and it results in the formation of two types of the ions. One is cation and another is anion. Like ions are formed by, you can write down here, ions are formed as a result of complete transfer of electrons. So we can say that like this is this simple definition of ions. Now these can happen in two ways. We say that if atom donates electron, if atom donates electron, it becomes what? It becomes the cation. It becomes cation. You see here, and we say that it can carries positive charge on it. And if an atom accepts electron, if an atom accepts electron or electrons, it becomes what? It becomes anion.
And
Yes, exactly. It becomes anion, and it is
it has a
negative.
negative charge.
Yes, exactly. It has a negative charge. Now you need to understand that why do they have a negative and a positive charges? The reason is quite simple here. You know that a neutral atom, for example, sodium has a atomic number of 11. Atomic number of 11 mean that it has a charge of
11 protons and 11 electrons, so it has a neutral charge.
okay, we say that it has electrons is equal to 11, protons are equal to 11, and neutrons are also equal to 12. This was the neutral one. So when it will lose one electron, what will it become? Like this. Still it will remain as Na23, but you see here that it will carry 12 neutrons. Protons will be equal to 11 here, and then electrons will be equal to 10. Then electrons will be equal to 10. What has it become? Now you see that it carries a zero charge. This carry 11 positive charges, and this carries 11 negative charges. So overall charge was equal to 0. But when it will donate an electron, when it donates an electron, it will still carry 0 charge. It will carry 11 positive charges, and it will carry 10 negative charge because one electron has one negative charge. So when it has lost one electron, you see that the total positive charge is 11 positive and total negative charge is 10 negative. There is one positive charge more as compared to negative charge. Therefore, I will write down here plus sign that it carries one positive charge. Overall, there is one positive charge. Here, it does not contain any charge because it was neutral, 11 positive and 11 negative charge. Therefore, I had written nothing over there. But here, it carries 11 positive and 10 negative charges. That is why I have written one positive over here. Did you understand why cations are positive?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you can come across here. Okay, so you know that an oxygen carries six, no, 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 not six, eight atomic number and 16 atomic mass. What does that mean? It's mean that it carries neutrons is equal to 8 and their charge is 0, and then it carries protons equal to 8, and because charge of one proton is one positive, so it has total 8 positive charges, and obviously it is a neutral atom, therefore it carries 8 electrons, and it is balanced out with protons. So 8 negative and 8 positive, they are balanced, no net charge is present over there. But if we have another atom of oxygen like this, O8 16 again, but it carries two negative charge. What does that mean? Charge में दोबारा से लिखूंगा. What does that mean? It means that it has neutrons is equal to 8 because जब ions form करते हैं तो number of protons will not change because ions are formed as an exchange of ions are formed as an exchange of electrons. So protons are equal to 8 here. Protons and neutrons do not get exchanged during ions formation or during bond formation. Therefore, they will remain same everywhere. Electrons, because oxygen is deficient of two electrons, therefore it will accept two electrons and it will become 10 here. So basically, it contains zero charge due to neutrons. It carries 8 positive charge due to protons, and it carries 10 negative charge due to electrons. This is the reason why it has two negative charge overall. This is the reason that why it has an overall charge of 2 negative. Do you understand that how negative and negative ions and positive ions are formed or how cations are formed. You understand? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Asba, Anaya, and we have six others as well.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
understand? Okay. So, this is how you have to write down the difference between cations and anion as well. When you will be defining, you will say that. You will also write down the examples. And when you are writing down the examples, you can also show it with the help of an example like this. For example, you say that we have an atom. Now you see that between atom and atom has protons and electrons, while ions have different number of protons and electrons. If electrons, it becomes negatively charged anion, and if protons are
Sir, I
more.
can't hear you properly.
Yes, hello. Do you hear me now? Hello. Do you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
We have
Yes, sir.
hydrogen. I was saying that the difference between an atom and an ion is that atom contains equal number of protons and electrons, while there is a difference in protons and electrons in the ions. If electrons are more, it becomes negatively charged and it is called as anion. And if number of electrons are lesser than number of protons, it means that this is a positive ion called cation. देखिए इसकी एग्जांपल आप इस तरह से भी दे सकते हैं. For example, initially we have hydrogen only. Hydrogen will give away one electron and it will form one positive H positive plus one E negative because hydrogen has given away one electron. Similarly, sodium will become Na1 positive because it is a metal. Metals donate electrons. So on the product side, you will write down electrons. If you have magnesium, magnesium is also an atom. It is in group 2. Magnesium donates 2 electrons plus 1e negative. Sorry, 2e negative. It is like this. How do we know that that species will donate one electron or two electrons? It depends upon their valences. If they will have one electron in the outermost shell, they will donate one electron. If they have two electrons in the outermost shell, they will donate two electrons. And if they have three electrons in the outermost shell, they will donate three electrons, and so on. But there is a difference in case of negative ions. For example, here we can write down that. For example, if you have chlorine, chlorine is in group 7 of periodic table and its valence is 7. It needs one electron, therefore it will accept one electron, and because it is accepting one electron, therefore it will form one negative ion. Then you can see we have oxygen. Oxygen has 6 electrons in its outermost shell. It needs 2 electrons so that the number of electrons in its outermost shall be 8 and it will become stable. So therefore, it will accept 2 electrons from some metals, and that is why it has 2 negative charge on it. So this is how we will differentiate between cations and anions.
So, can you explain the magnesium one?
Magnesium is in group 2. मैग्नीशियम के जो आप लोगों को अभी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नहीं आया हमारे चैप्टर में. वी शुड हैव लर्नड इट बिफोर बट बिकॉज वी हैव टू फॉलो बुक. खैर बुक में इस तरह से लिखा होगा कि इट हैज 12 atomic number. It means that it has initially, sorry, 12 in the first.
It has two valency electrons, right?
Exactly. 2, 8, and 2. It will be balanced if it will have 8 electrons in its outermost shell. It can have 8 electrons in its outermost shell in two ways. Either remove the 2 electrons from we remove these 2 electrons, or another way is that you
So you
and another way is that you add 6 electrons. Removing 2 electrons is easier than adding 2 electrons. Therefore, magnesium will lose 2 electrons from the outermost shell. That is why it will carry 2 positive charge. Actually, the lesson is over. I have to join a new class and another class actually. And probably you will also have a class. So go join your class. But remember that if you will not revise it from the book given to you, take the screenshots of this one as well, of this as well, and all the work that we have done today, and practice it by yourself. So
sir, can you go on the first one?
yeah, again, if you will take screenshots and do some work by yourself, it will be much helpful for you people as well. I hope
Sir,
you
can you go
understand.
on the last one now?
Okay then, beta, just take care. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz,
Allah
sir.
Hafiz.
Enough is said.
Allah Hafiz.
Sir, can you just give the
What should I give?
sir, can you just post the pictures?
Okay, I will.